It's Lydia from the Avanti Wellness podcast and YouTube channel. And today I'm starting a new series. It's called the Avanti Community Chat. And what I'm going to do is introduce y'all to any of the community members who actually are willing to get on the podcast with me. And so our first brave community member is Mike Sewald. Hi, Mike.
Hi,
How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for inviting me to this. This is going to be fun, and I look forward to the challenge. And I
Yes.
look forward to giving people information that will help keep them motivated because, I'm gathering a lot of information by watching your podcast every day. And I want to give back in any way that I can to everybody that's involved in this.
I love that, and I love that that's your intention for being on the show, and that you care about helping people, and maybe there's something you could say or that you could
Right.
be that would inspire them. So let's get after it. So before we get going, I want to let you introduce yourself. So I'm going to hand you over the mic, and I want you to just kind of let the audience know a little bit about your
Okay.
background and tell us all about you.
Okay, here we go. My name is Mike. I'm from Littleton, Colorado. I've been exercising all my life. It started out in my mid-20s. I was running back in them days, and then I started having back issues. At that point, I went to a NordicTrack machine for about 20 years. And I got tired of that, of course, after 20 years. And then I started walking a lot, besides doing other things such as hiking and kayaking and, a lot of fun things. So a couple of months ago, I was talking to Lydia's sister, Dory, who has a rebounder, and she kind of introduced me to that, rebounding concept and all the benefits from that. And at the same time, I started watching Lydia's podcast to gather more information. So about 6 weeks ago, I just decided that I needed to go get one of these rebounders so that I myself could benefit from all the good things that, you get from rebounding. And in addition to that, we have a lot of days in the winter that are very cold, and it's very difficult to get out and go for walks. So this is like a godsend to me to be able to do my workout in the comfort of my house. And I have to spend actually less time on it to get the same benefit, as I would be out walking. So I'm the oldest of 6 kids, and I'm probably in the best shape out of all of his kids. In fact, that's a fact. So I kind of set the standard for the rest of my family. But so anyway, what keeps me motivated? There's several things. First of all, I don't have any weight issues, so I'm not doing this because of that. I'm doing this for other benefits, like I do my yearly check with the doctor, and it's keeping everything that within normal ranges, And my doctor tells me, Mike, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. That's another thing that keeps me motivated. And another thing that keeps me motivated is I tell people, I'm 70 years old now, and I'm telling myself the same thing as I did when I was 40. And that is, I can't believe how good I feel. I have an endless supply of energy. I'm always ready to get up and go, at the snap of a finger to do any type of a physical activity. So anyway, I'll turn it over to you, Lydia.
Great. Well, you answered a few of my questions. So I just want to remind everyone, I was going to ask him, how old are you? But y'all, he's 70. He's in his 70s, and he looks like he's 60,
Well,
number one. So I think, would you attribute that to how active you've stayed, how much oxygen you've been putting in your cells all these years?
absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
I agree with some of the new stuff that I've been learning by reading books like The New Miracles of Rebounding, just understanding that chapter called chapter 11, where it was the healthy cell concept. And they talk about the importance that the cells need oxygen. And if you're not feeding your cells oxygen, they're not going to thrive as well. And I think that that's probably a key to your good looks at 70 years old.
Well, I want to go back and say, I was going to say I'm 70 years young rather than 70 years old.
Okay. Hey, I'm here for that. That
You
sounds
know,
good. I agree. I mean, my sister is like 58 and
right.
y'all are neighbors and y'all keep up with each other. I mean, you keep up with her and she gets motivated by you because you're like, I call you Tigger, bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun.
Well, I'm glad, I mean, I'm really glad that I'm benefiting her as well,
Exactly.
I
Oh, yeah,
mean,
absolutely. Y'all are having fun, on all the hikes. And, that's another thing is picking a destination where you choose to live, where you can be active and get things out in nature. And I mean, there's so many things about living in Colorado that are probably beneficial on their own, just being connected with the energy of the earth by all the green spaces, right?
yeah,
And
I
y'all
would
do a lot of
certainly
that.
have a little bit harder time finding to do these activities if I were living in the Houston area, which is primarily pretty flat.
Yeah, well, and a lot of cement, so I call it the
Yeah,
cement city, so there's just not a lot of open spaces, and then when it's hot, it's, like, exhausting to have to get
yeah.
out in the heat, so, yeah, I mean, city Houston's a city of opportunity, and when I get older, and I wanna slow down a little bit, I think I'll probably find a more nature-esque destination to,
Well,
go to.
let me pass one thing along. You might not want to slow down because I don't want to slow down. You know, I'm going to go as long as I can and just keep pushing myself.
I know. I probably won't slow down when it comes to work, but I want to that's why I'm building the podcast because I want to do everything kind of online and have that global opportunity instead of just limiting myself to having to live in one city because this will make me more nomadic. So let's go back to you. Okay, let me think of
Okay.
some of the questions that I wanted to ask you. So, um, you talked about the things that make you motivated. Your life has been full. Oh.
Oh,
Wait, I want to ask this question because I told you wanted to ask it, and then I want the audience to hear your answer. So what does your body feel like when you don't exercise?
well, unfortunately, that's not a question that I have an answer for because I've never been there. I'm a perfectionist when it comes to me sticking to an exercise program. So again, I
You
can't
don't
answer
know what
that
that's
question.
like.
I don't know what it's like. So,
Yeah, because your whole life you have just always prioritized movement,
I have.
right?
And again, that started back when I was about 25 years old. So,
Right, right. Because I it's interesting because we're kind of the opposite. Like I I knew exercise was important to me, but I never prioritized it because I didn't like having to do things that I had to do. So if I could have a choice in not doing something, I would have.
mhm,
I talked about this on one of my podcasts yesterday, one of my jumping sessions about resisting. What am I resisting in my life that, and I don't know if you heard me say this quote, but the quote was, the people who are resisting things, they're resisting what they have to give up. They're focusing on what they have to give up rather than what they're going to gain from
exactly.
no longer resisting. And so that
Yeah,
really helped me realize that there's a lot of benefits to moving your body and making that a priority, like the oxygen concept. I mean, you
mhm,
look youthful. So if you want to help your aging of your cells, keep oxygen activated inside your body
yeah,
and keep moving. I mean, the blood flow, the immunity benefits, all of that is you're moving your lymphatic system just by walking. The cool thing though is that when you rebound, you activate your lymphatic system threefold. So you
right.
turn on the turbo boosters because you're up and down bouncing against gravity, and that actually accentuates
Mhm.
the lymphatic system where walking is just a straight line with gravity,
Well,
right?
again, I don't know if rebounding is going to give me more energy, but it's going to give me the benefit that you just mentioned right now.
Yeah, but they
You
did
know,
say in that book that unlike walking and running, you use the oxygen when you're walking and running in the moment. You use
Uh-huh.
up what you need. But what they said, and I don't know if this is, correct. I'm just repeating what I read, is that by rebounding, the cells get the oxygen and it stores the oxygen inside the cells, and then it can be utilized later. That's why you have boundless energy
I do.
after you rebound. You have more energy throughout
Yeah.
the day when you rebound. And that was the reason. But when you walk, you use the energy in that moment and you're tired after your walk. You're not getting more
Well,
energy.
I can't say that I'm tired after I walk, but that's me. I'm a little bit different. So,
Okay, well, you're Tigger, so
what was that again?
I said
Tigger?
you're Tigger. Do you know who Tigger is?
No.
Oh, well,
No.
then you're not getting my reference. Okay, so Tigger is a Disney character and he's orange and he has a spring for a tail and he's bouncy,
Oh,
bouncy, 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 fun, 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 fun. The most wonderful
yeah.
thing about Tigger is that I'm the only one. So you're a unique Tigger. It's a
That would
compliment.
be me.
It's a
Yes,
compliment.
yes.
So please take
Yeah.
it as a compliment. It's a compliment. So
Well,
anyway,
I have one thing on my mind, and I want to say it now before I forget it. Is
yeah, please.
when you start any exercise program, you have to go in with the attitude that you're probably not going to feel and see results right away. So you have to continue down this path, and after 2 weeks or 4 weeks, however long it takes, because we're all different. Once you reach that point where you start feeling better and seeing results on your body, that's at that point it's going to keep you motivated. So again, it's not going to happen overnight. Anything that you want in life is going to take some effort on your part, and you have to ask yourself this question: how badly do I want this?
Yeah, definitely. And the patience is such a big component to this journey, right?
It
Because
is.
you can like not see results in your body. Even building muscle can take time. And so with rebounding, I mean, the whole concept, did you know that about the NASA study on the rebounding?
I did. Yeah, previously mentioned that for every 10 minutes on the rebounder, it's equal to 40 minutes walking. But every other source has said it's 10 minutes to 30 minutes. So either way, I'm benefiting much more by getting on the rebounder as opposed to walking.
Right. But
You know?
what the NASA study talked about, and it's the
Uh-huh.
last chapter in the new miracles of rebounding, is that when NASA studied rebounding in California in the 80s, they found that their astronauts were able to build muscle faster on a rebounder because of that. Against gravity causes the resistance to the muscle cells, and then that puts impact on the muscle cells harder than like just walking or weightlifting or whatever.
Hmm.
And so they have to um, grow. The muscle cells have to grow back and go
Hmm.
into place because now you're putting stress on the body through rebounding. Why do the astronauts lose muscle cells when they're in space? Because there's no gravity, that
Right.
they're not even walking around, they're floating around in their capsule. So they don't even use those muscles in their body the way that we do on Earth with gravity. So
Correct.
they found that it builds muscle and bone density too, which is exciting.
Uh, well, that's a couple more benefits for myself. So.
Yeah, I mean, bone density is so important when you're older. So let's talk
Yes.
about, so you're kind of an anomaly, you're kind of unusual, you're amazing, you've been doing this your whole life. But let's talk about like if you are 70 and you're kind of like my mom was, she started her health journey and transformation at the age of 70, and then she allowed her, by doing that, she gave herself 17 years of her final years of her life that were amazing and glorious and healthy. And so I encourage
Yeah.
anyone, no matter if you're like Mike and you've been doing it forever, or if you want to be motivated and encouraged that you can transform your life, you can do it at any age. And my mom proved that. But what I want to talk to you about, Mike, is let's talk about the typical 70-year-old. I mean, you might think about people maybe even your loved ones, and think about the kinds of things that they're experiencing and how you can avoid those types of, people who are older maybe are less mobile than they were
Yeah.
once before. And the rebounder has options for getting your body and blood pumping without having to do the stress that walking is, which is one of the
Right.
reasons I decided to get on it. So you can sit on the actual mat on the rebounder. That's a little harder for someone who's elderly because it's hard to get up once you
Mhm.
get down there. It's easy to get down. You can just plop down, but getting your body back up, that's a little challenging. You might need assistance. But one thing I found is sitting on the chair, which is a little bit of a higher level chair, and then using
Mhm.
my legs. My body doesn't have to hold my legs don't have to hold my body up. I just can use my legs. So let's talk
Right.
about um, ways that, so you have a bar, right? When you bought your
Yes.
rebounder?
Correct.
Yeah. And do you use the bar?
No, I haven't had to use it yet, but as I create more movements, on my own, it might require to me to use that.
Yeah.
You know.
How are you using your rebounder? Are you doing high bounces and jumps? What are you
Yeah, I
doing?
was doing a lot of high jumps, and then I would just jog on it, for a while,
Are you
like
doing the
I'm
can
jogging, and
can?
then, huh?
Are you doing the can can?
And then, maybe side by side and swinging my arms, in different positions, and
Like a
yeah.
gingerbread man or something.
So maybe just 3 or 4 moves at this point, but, one thing I like about rebounding, it gives me a chance to become creative, and just doing more fun things because, again, it is fun.
Yeah, do you feel winded after you do all that?
Oh, no. No, like, again, I started off, uh, doing this, then I started off about 30 minutes, even when I started rebounding 5 or 6 weeks ago, and I felt just great after I got off it, still had plenty of energy, and so
Do you track anything like on a watch?
yeah, I have a Fitbit.
Okay, and
Yeah.
what have you seen different? Have you compared your walks on your Fitbit to
Well, yes,
your
I have. I think I'm probably getting maybe 20 to 30% more steps from being on the rebounder than I would walking.
Okay,
It's
you're getting
registering a higher number of steps for the same amount of time.
Oh, really? So is the
Yeah,
Fitbit considering like each bounce of your body as a step?
right. So again, with me being on the rebounder and jogging on the rebounder, I'm certainly, putting in more steps than I would if I were out walking.
Okay,
So
that's interesting. I have a Fitbit. I don't know where it is. I mean, I don't know where it is, but I have a Galaxy watch that I need to activate, and I want to start tracking my own movement
yeah.
and with the app and everything.
And again, I'm not so much into steps. I kind of determine my exercise on the amount of time that I put in. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, but
right
I
now
bet I
I'm
bet
kind
that
of
messes with your brain though if you're thinking like, "Oh, 30 minutes on the rebounder is probably nothing." Like, do you desire to do an hour and you're just like, "I better not?"
right. I better not.
You hold yourself back from doing
Yeah.
more.
And again, I'm going to cut back even from the 30 minutes because I don't think I need to do 30 minutes. I'm going to
Yeah.
do probably 10 or 15 minutes, probably 2 or 3 times a day. And I might incorporate a short walk throughout the day,
Wait
especially
a minute. Hold your horses. Did you just say 10 to 15 minutes 3 times a day?
why not?
Wow.
Why not?
Wow, that's amazing. Good
Why
for
not? I
you.
mean, if I could do 30 minutes without any problem. In fact, I've been up to 40 to 45 minutes on it.
That's
So
crazy.
30 minutes was nothing.
I
So
can't imagine. I mean, good for you. Like the reason I wanted to have you on is because you're so inspiring. Like your life of a 70-year-old who's capable of doing that is inspiring. And I want the
well,
community to feel inspired by your commitment to your health.
I'm 70 again, and there's nothing that I feel that I can't do still. Nothing.
That's awesome.
You know, if I wanted to, I could go out and play a game of basketball right now, I'm sure. I mean,
Well, you need to
bring it
report
on.
back. You're gonna have to find a team, first of all. You gotta find the harder part would find someone to
Yeah.
play with.
Yeah, especially 70 years of age or older. Yeah, where am I going to find them? It'll have to be 40 years old and older, I guess,
Yeah.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that's awesome. Is there anything, let's think, is there anything else that we want to inspire the community with while we have? Oh, I want to just say that Mike is bravely and courageously in our community, but we want other men to know that it's okay to come and
Yes.
be a part of this community. We support everyone and whatever part of your journey you're in. And a lot of people, men aren't used to collaborating and getting together with other people, but I think that men can benefit from the way women collaborate and support each other. Especially if you're out there and you're alone, if you're out there and you don't have a community that you're engaged with, but you like exercising, or you like,
Hmm.
or you maybe you don't like, hold on, that's not the right thing to say, because there's a lot of people like myself who don't love exercising. And that's why I created a motivational support community to keep me engaged, because I'm not like Mike.
Yeah, as I think about the men that I know, I can't really think of any of them that exercise regularly like I do. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
just not a priority for them.
Right.
So,
And so you have to either go alone or go get my sister to come go hiking with you.
yeah. So again, I would like for more men to become involved in this too, so we could have more things to talk about that maybe would relate to just men.
Exactly.
When I was on that meet and greet last week, after a while, I kind of felt like a little bit out of place, but not a whole lot.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't
And
regret going on it.
it's okay. And you don't, by the way, if you want to be a part of the community, you don't have to participate. Like, you can just be engaged from the observer standpoint, but we encourage you that if it feels like something that would support you, or that you need support and assistance, we're here for you, and there's a
Right.
lot of supportive women in the group that enjoy encouraging and motivating others like I do. So that's the cool part about this. And by the way, for those of you who don't know, who might be coming across this podcast for the first time, on YouTube is the channel Avanti Wellness Podcast, and I do live live streams twice a day right now, because I have the time. And I do the morning 10-minute, and then we chat and talk. And then I do a 5-minute booster in the afternoon. Maybe as I grow and evolve in this journey, I might do more. But right now, the goal of my experiment was to see, for people like me, like, what's the minimum you could actually invest and get good benefit out of it. And I mean, listen to Mike, like, he's like, oh, I do 45 minutes and I do 30 minutes. Well, not everybody has that kind of time on their
No.
schedule. He's just available in his life, the phase of his life where he can put that kind of time in. But what about busy moms and people taking care of other people, caregivers and stuff? You may not always have that kind of time for yourself. So part of my experiment was just to see, what if we only committed to 10 minutes a day? Could that be kind of like me going on a 30-minute walk every day? Because that's
Mhm.
beneficial, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I want to be honest with myself, probably just 2 10-minute rebounding sessions a day would be enough for me, because again, that equals an hour of walking. And that's
Exactly.
that's probably all I need. Not all I would want, but that's all I need.
Right.
So
Yeah. So if you go look at, have you ever watched David Hall on YouTube, the cellular sizer guy?
I have once or twice, and I know he has a lot of videos there that I need to watch. But
Well,
yeah, I'm just
he's older. He's in his, I think he might be in his 70s. I mean, he's definitely like an older generational guy. I don't know what his age is, but I'm sure he looks a lot younger than his real age. But he's been, if I'm not mistaken, he's been, rebounding for, I want to say 30 to 40 years.
uh-huh.
And think about that. I mean, he says all he does to keep his svelte, cut, fit, muscular body is 10 minutes a day. So that's kind of where I came up with, let's see if a obese fat person like myself does 10 minutes a day, how can my body transform? And again, I want to just remind y'all, I'm being patient with myself. And if I really wanted quicker results, I could change my diet, but I want to just see if the experiment I'm trying to create is what is possible if you just commit to 10 minutes a day, which is likened to a 30-minute walk. How would your life change? So that's what I'm role modeling and demonstrating. And again, I may change. And when I see that things start slowing down, I may start getting more disciplined. But right now, I'm just playing around with it.
That's okay.
I know. Well, I have the time and I have the patience. So that's the challenge, is people don't really, it's challenging to be doing something and then have the patience to give your body the time to catch up. And that's one of the things that I talk about is I want my skin to catch up with the changes in my body, because I don't want a lot of loose skin at an older age, you know? So you got to be careful. So hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Are you hydrating enough, Mike?
That's what I'm doing right now. See?
Okay, you're hydrating. Do you drink a lot?
I've been a wateraholic for many years, so.
Okay, so well, also you live in Colorado, so you need extra.
Yeah, we really do. So.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you. Let's see, is there anything else before we say goodbye as we're introducing you to the community?
You know what? I can't think of anything else, but I watch you almost daily. So if there's something that comes up, I will certainly put it on the chat.
Yes, you can add it to the chat. So
let the ladies know I'm still alive, you know, and I'm going to be coming back from time to time, you know, and giving them my input and trying to motivate everybody. So.
Oh, that's sweet. I appreciate that. I love when I see you pop up on the chat there and tell everybody hi.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that. So
you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you
thank you for having me.
Yes. And thank you for being my first introduction to the Avanti Community Members chat.
No problem.
Yeah. All right. Well, hang in there. Don't jump off yet, but I'm going to close out the audience. So y'all have a nice day and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye, everybody. Keep up the good work.
Yes. Bye, everybody. See you soon.